Well, hey everybody. The wind is blowing, but I'm gonna try to talk anyway. I can walk into the wind and then back out of it maybe. We'll see. I went to a meeting with the Board of Aldermen, and the video is up on my YouTube channel. There'll be a link in the description for that. There's a couple of incidences that comes up on things that they were talking about last night after I talked about onevoicenow.org. One of them was a carbon footprint contract with the Department of Highway and Transportation for carbon purposes. And when, I think his name's Jamie, when he got up to talk, he said that it was like for building sidewalks from here to Springfield, like, you know, the trailer, what do you call it? Chadwick Flyer Trail. And then he even made a statement like, yeah, it'll be good to be able to know you could ride your bicycle all the way to Cox South. And one of the aldermen said, and the clip, I'll make a clip and I'll put a clip here.
Alternative programming. These funds were allocated by Congress and Jobs Act. So potato, this funding comes down in all different names. It's also known as the bipartisan infrastructure law, and it was signed into place in November 15th of 2021. So there's this pool of money out there to help us reduce our carbon footprint by promoting biking, walking, all these other things, multimodal transportation, and we want to go after every bit of that funding we can. So.
Yes, sir. Alderman Snyder.
Well, I was absent when this discussion occurred with this last one. I'm just curious, can I get some clarification?
And enter into a contract for a Missouri Highways and Transportation Commission Carbon Reduction Program Agreement.
Okay. Director Jeremy, anything, this is the second reading, anything you wish to add to our previous?
I just wanted, because we talked about this a little bit earlier, the carbon reduction program is very similar to the transportation alternative programming. These funds were allocated by Congress in the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act. So potato, this funding comes down in all different names. It's also known as the bipartisan infrastructure law, and it was signed into place in November 15th of 2021. So there's this pool of money out there to help us reduce our carbon footprint by promoting biking, walking, all these other things, multimodal transportation, and we want to go after every bit of that funding we can.
Yes, sir. Alderman Snyder.
Well, I was absent when this discussion occurred with this last one. I'm just curious, can I get some clarification? The carbon, the verbiage with carbon is nothing more than saying that we're going to use this for trails. Is that the way I read that correctly? So it's nothing with, putting restrictions on automobiles or things like that. So this is just their way of saying, hey, we want to give you some type of funding to reduce carbon emissions by promoting walking, cycling, things like that.
You nailed it. That's it.
Okay, I just want to make sure that is clear
There's no strings attached in terms of carbon or anything like that, reducing emissions. In and of itself, by promoting multimodal and different forms of transportation, that is reducing carbon. So
it is, and this is going to directly affect the Chadwick Flyer, things of that nature.
That's right.
Yeah, explain the location.
At the last meeting, we showed you a map, and you may have a PowerPoint still, but basically, know where the trail ends at the end of the Finley River Trail underneath the Jackson Street Bridge.
Mhm.
So right now, it's just kind of an abrupt dead end. It would continue all the way to the public access trails within the Finley Farms, and then connect to that'd be the northeast intersection of Highway N and Jackson Street. So you're completing that loop. That current sidewalk has been ended at that location for, 12, 15 years now.
Yeah.
So we finally found the opportunity to make.
Yeah, it's by the Golden Dragon. It would pass.
Yeah, just go right under the bridge.
Yeah.
So.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Yes, Alderman Flores.
Just a point of clarification. I know the answer to it, but I wanted to go ahead and ask it. There wouldn't be any kind of tax or anything that would be applied to this due to any carbon emissions or anything like that.
No, it's just all part of that Investment Act, Infrastructure Investment Act, and it's the funding that's available. We go after the funding.
Thank you.
Alderman Galloway.
So I'm gonna be able to take my bike to the trailhead. That will take me over to link up to Garrison Springs Park.
That's the goal. Yeah, absolutely. With what you've seen recently with the governor's cost share program and continuing that trail, it's all about connectivity. You guys have heard me get up here and get excited about that several times, but it's all about connectivity and connecting these nodes of activities in these different areas that have either historical or environmental or just beautiful areas to visit. Quality of life is really what it comes down to. And I can't stress enough, and providing the alternative for somebody to jump on their bike and run up to Cox South. I'm a radiologist, and guess what? I can get there in 17 minutes on a bike. I'd rather fight Highway 65 traffic or pick a nice day to get on my bike. I know the answer, my answer, but.
Make it from here to Cox out 17 minutes and like on my call.
We might have to race.
And the Garrison Springs Trail is gonna be done this year.
Cameron, you want to speak to the Garrison?
Oh, I don't need to, but it's on deck, so we will have a really well-connected trail system. Thanks to this, soon, thanks to this particular grant.
Yeah, filling those gaps are so critical, and making sure that we get that interconnectivity.
Yes.
And I'll be able to drive my big SUV there without having to pay an extra tax. Okay, thank you.
Okay. Any other questions for? If not,
I move that we adopt Bill 3545 as ordinance 24-028.
I'll go this way this time. Okay, the motion is that we adopt Bill 3543 to become ordinance 24-028. The motion was made by Alderman Flores, it's seconded by Alderman Alder. Roll call, please.
Alderman Flores,
Aye.
Alderman Alder. Alderman Hutchinson. Alderman Galloway.
Aye.
Alderman Snyder.
Aye.
We have 5 aye votes, motion carries.
Thank you very much. At this time, we're going to turn to time reports of officers of board and committees.
And I brought up that when I spoke about it as being on the agenda, I said carbon tax. Because ultimately, that's what it's going to end up being, a carbon tax. They're not going to tell you that, but they've been through Agenda 21, and now they're on Agenda 2030. They don't have, now I'm not just talking about the board and the county and in this particular area. I'm talking about in general. Government does not have our interest at heart anymore, no. And state government does not have your interest at heart anymore. And across the board, city government definitely does not have your interest at heart. They're going to vote and pass things whether you agree or don't agree. So what we got to do is start coming together and have pre-meetings with factual information about everything. From this point on, if anybody can join in with me, I'll show you how we can scrub their website using AI, and we can find all kinds of information that we should know about. And if they just barely put it out there, like this water deal that they're talking about, from Clay Street all the way to, what do they call that building? The Lions Club or the Elks Lodge. There's a whole bunch of houses out there that are on a water system that they're buying. The city is evidently going to buy it. And let me tell you this, there's a picture right here that shows how much your water bill is going to be. Why weren't you at the meeting? I think that was the second reading, and I think they passed it. I brought up the fact on camera that did they check the pipes? How do they know the real history of how long they've been in the ground and what the quality of them is? That means take a camera and put a camera in there and do a survey of every bit of it. Well, the woman spoke, and I put what she said right up here and who she is.
First reading, anyone from the public who wishes to speak for or against Bill 3545? Come up and introduce yourself.
Buddy Huggins, I want to use this as an example. I'm a common person,
Okay.
you know, not rocket scientist, but I do have some common sense. What are we buying?
Just ask your point of order.
Yeah,
that you address the folder.
Yeah, okay, thank you, sir. You have to address us, so I can ask Jeremy the question. Would you clarify is the water system we're buying? Can I do that?
Generally, the person asking the questions would ask all of their questions and then you could address
Oh,
the
okay.
questions
Okay, buddy,
as you want.
you have any other questions, sir, you want to ask? I'll make a list.
In the ground, are we buying a system that's already existing and it's called Spring Valley,
Yes.
and Spring Valley is selling it. And you know, we're
Okay.
gonna buy it.
Yeah.
How
Okay,
do we know the pipes are good?
okay,
What if they rusty?
okay. What else, sir? I'm making a list. Well,
That's a pretty important part. How, you know, how old are the pipes that we're buying? I could almost envision having to go, this is just for, you know, feedback purposes. You know, this is for training and learning and understanding. What if we bought that and we found out that those pipes were really bad? We'd have to go in and repipe that. So I want to know the date, when it was done. Thank you. And have y'all run the camera through it.
okay,
And are we talking water and sewer?
okay, here, please.
Oh, we talking water and sewer.
Okay,
Thank you.
thanks, sir. I'd like, if Director Parson, come back up, please. First question is kind of what are, am I following proper protocol?
If you'd like, Mr. Parsons to answer the questions, that'd be fine.
Yes.
I think I could also answer them pursuant to the contract either way.
Okay.
So the city's purchasing the system from Missouri American Water. It is just a water system, not a sewer system. And there are provisions in the contract itself, which I worked on with the attorney for Missouri American Water, that have terms that require Missouri American Water to ensure there are no environmental hazards in the infrastructure that they are selling to the city. The city is acquiring the infrastructure, so the actual pipes and anything that comes along with that. And we have an opportunity as well to do an environmental assessment pursuant to the contract terms. So the city has taken precautions to ensure that the infrastructure itself and anything that comes along with it is in, you know, environmentally safe, you know, standards and meets those thresholds.
Okay, thank you very much.
And then it got real quiet. But I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing, and I need help from people in the community. They said that they not hiding nothing, and they want everybody to come to the meeting to be able to ask questions. But how can we ask questions if we don't know the business? We got to understand the business end of how things work, and that's what I'm gonna be educating myself on with AI. How do you talk? There's a verbiage and a thing. A guy left a good comment in the video from last night, the one that I mixed up with me talking and then everybody else talking. And I can't say the words right now. They're not coming to mind. That's how foreign it is to think that I'm a trustee of something and they need to know that I'm a trustee of it. I kind of know where he's going with that, so I'm going to get AI to explain it to me, and then I'll make a video about it, and I'll know it. But as far as having meetings, I think we could start somewhere. I need some people that can read and write and know how to talk and can write letters and we can get ahead of these people, because look, let me just finish the video by what I'm saying about the carbon taxes. It's going to get so bad if we don't do nothing. They will take our big pickup trucks away. They won't just put a tax on it. They'll do that at the beginning, and then they'll take them away. You remember when we first started seeing video of China? They were riding bicycles and mopeds. That's what they want for us. Now, I'm not saying any leaders here in America have bought into that hook, line, and sinker, but yeah, they have. It's Agenda 2030, and it's got to do with global weather warming. No, we are not heating up the world. Let me give you a little bit of scientific information real quick before I get back to your ass is going to be riding a bicycle and a moped, and your wife is going to be on one of them three-wheel bicycles, and you might figure out a way to strap an electric motor on it if you got any talent. But that those batteries might blow up and hurt somebody. All right, what I got off track, what I was going to say. The sun used to be yellow. It's not yellow no more. And they told us why. About 6 or 7 years ago, they put out information on the internet that got through. Thank God it got through. That there's more photons coming from another source. Not the sun, but another source. It's coming from the central sun of the Milky Way galaxy, which an example is the actual center of a very essence of your atoms. That very center is putting out a photon blast to wake your ass up. And it's time to wake up to the reality that these people don't have our interest. We got to get together and talk and educate them. Back to the heating up of the planet. Not only is Earth heating up, but Mars is heating up. Jupiter has changed its, that storm on Jupiter, the big red eye they called it, it's changed. The parallel lines on it have changed. All of the planets. Don't take my word for it, ask AI, look it up. Go to DuckDuckGo and you might be where you won't be blocked. But, oh, by the way, they do block us from getting truthful information. Now, if that's the case, how can we trust anybody unless we actually do our own research into each of these particular topics and these contracts they enter in? Some of them don't mean nothing. We just let them go. Boom, boom. You got to have that. Boom, boom. But something like that's going to come down the line that's going to take vehicles away from you and tell you you can't drive so many miles a week, and that's why we got these bike paths so you can bike your ass to Cox South and get a blood check, because you're going to be having a damn heart attack when you're having to ride a bicycle to Springfield to get some information done at a business or a lawyer's office. You just have to get in good shape. They don't see it, but I see it. That's where we're headed. We can put the brakes on this ASAP. When we let them know that we are the trustees and they are the employees. I think that's the way that guy was trying to tell me that in a comment. All right, I got a lot of research to do and a lot of things to learn about how do they do the Zoom call for all the meetings. Not just the county, not just the city, but for all of them. The zoning and planning. We want all of that to be on Zoom, and we want it one link where we click and it instantly logs us in. Is that possible? I don't think so. I think if I want it to go on a Zoom meeting, I'm going to have to jump through, and I'll do it. I'll find out how many hoops I'm going to have to jump through, and I'll make a video about it, and you'll know and I'll know. But everybody that can't come to the meeting need to start getting the information. Call the city, call the county, tell them you want to Zoom into the city meeting. I know they do it for the city meeting, but how many loops do you have to go to City Hall and fill out a paperwork, and it's got to be so many days and hours before the meeting? And then they have to mail you a link, like Zoom link or something? I don't know. That kind of restricts us. I want open access. We got a lot of shut-in people that need to see these meetings. We got a lot of elderly people that need to see these meetings on their computers and cell phones. That's why we need One Voice now, because it goes through PBS, and that has all the ability to get it to everything that has. If you got a phone, you can see it. If you got a television and it's hooked to antenna TV, you can see it. If you got cable, you can see it. If you got that satellite dish, you can see it. OneVoiceNow.org is the key to our future. If you're with me, let me know in the comments. Help me out. I need some help. Yeah, y'all have fun watching my videos. Thank you for watching my channel. I'll talk to you later.